Hey, Wardrobe here. I just want to read something real quick. So I just got done playing. So this is me. Well, what am I trying to say here? So I just got done playing this. I just got done finished recording this whole battle here, and I thought I would read you real quick from the good old-fashioned Time Life books. Just a little summary of this, kind of where we are. In the battle here. There's some great videos out there. Others have done some good stuff here. So I'm just going to read from it. I hope that's cool. So I'm going to talk about both the battles I've just recently played, Brevity, and this one, Battleaxe. And, you know, spoiler alert, it was a draw. So on May 15th, even without the new tanks, he set into motion Operation Brevity, a limited campaign designed to secure a jump-off position for the major offensive to follow. Under the command of Brigadier General W.H.E. Gott, the British, threw 3 assault columns across the Egypt-Libya border, which is over here, brought some troops over here. 2 ascended the escarpment that ran, parallel to the coast. I'm going to skip some of this. The other to regain Fort Kapuzu west of Sollum. The third was to storm Halfaya Pass, right here, a gash in the escarpment leading up onto the Libyan plateau. So yeah, here's the Egypt. You can't see it back there, but anyway. So let's zoom in here, get to these columns. Okay. The pass controlled access to the plateau as well as the coastal road to Sollum and points west. And it is pretty amazing as I've been playing this. Like, this is way the heck down here, and this is huge. These 2 things, I'm like, can these be spread out like here? Anywho. The British quickly took Kapozo and Halfaya Pass and were advancing on Sidi Aziz, which I don't see. Oh, here, right here. This town here. But that wasn't a part of the battles I did. I just basically was trying to take care of this. When Rommel counterattacked, pushing them back in the early hours of May 16th, Gott withdrew the pass. If he could hold it to the pass, which if he could hold it by itself would have been worth the losses of Brevity. Till then, 18 tanks, 160 casualties. On May 27th, a superior German force drove the British out of the pass. And a superior German force drove the British out of the... Wait, I just read that. Out of the pass. At a cost of Wavell, 273 more casualties and 5 more tanks. Brevity had gained nothing. So we kind of did that Brevity fight twice. Churchill, aware that Rommel was strengthening his defenses every day, badgered Wavell to do something, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to read all the whole. But then on June 15th at 2:30 a.m., Wavell finally got the Cyrenaica offensive, codenamed Operation Battleaxe, underway. The plan was similar to that of Brevity, but on a larger scale. And it was, in fact, a bigger battle, had more stuff on it. But on an infantry brigade group, a reinforced brigade with 1.5 squadrons of tanks, was to seize Halfaya Pass. At the same time, an armored brigade and an infantry brigade were to move on to Fort Kapuzo. Kapuzo. As a reinforced armored brigade swept wide to the west towards Sidi Aziz, protecting the other British forces from the Axis troops in Sidi Omar. Here's New Omar, Sidi Omar. Okay, so that's cool. None of this came into play, but it will in the bigger campaign, no doubt. The anchor of Rommel's defense, an artillery battalion in Halfaya Pass, which was in there, first heard the throb of British tanks at 6 a.m. on June 15th. The defenders were known to the British as the 7-day men because they were supplied with a week's worth of ammunition, food, and water at a time, and knew they had to fight to the last shell and the last drop of water. Their commander was Captain Wilhelm Bock, a civilian life and evangelical minister from Mannheim, who would become known to his unswervingly loyal troops as the pastor of Halfaya. Through the field glasses, the portly Captain Bock watched the British tanks approaching. Under no circumstance fire, he told his men, let them come on. As the advance continued, the tanks began firing, and shell craters soon pitted the biscuit-brown heights of the pass till Bock's men and an Italian battery under Major Leopoldo Pardo held their fire. At 9:15 a.m., British Lieutenant Colonel O'Carroll, near the end of the column moving into the pass, heard with satisfaction a radio code message, pink spots. The action was under control and going well. Then the appalled last words of Major Seagulls in the lead tank poured from the radio. Good God, they've got large caliber guns dug in, and they're tearing my tanks to pieces. From concealed emplacements all along the cliffside, 88mm aircraft guns leveled for use against the tanks were firing 22-pound shells that could tear holes as big as basketballs in a Matilda a mile distant. In a few minutes, 11 of the 12 leading tanks were blazing blowtorches. 5 times the British tried to storm the pass, and 5 times box guns repulsed them. From that day forward, Halfaya Pass became known as Hellfire Pass. Continues on. So, yeah, it sounds like they were not successful, which sure you weren't, and because they kept reinforcing that. So that's pretty cool. That's what happens. And now let's go see the battle report of what happened. So that's a little bit of history of Brevity and Battleaxe. Okay, we'll see you. Bye. Okay, real quick here. So this is Operation Battleaxe. I've already had an activation for the British, an activation for the Germans. The British took over all the spots for the took all the 4 locations: Fort Capuzzo, Sollum, and both sides of Halfaya Pass. However, they left one side of Halfaya Pass with just a supply unit in it, and surrounded by British, well, not surrounded completely, but a lot of British units around it. However, that's not the 15 guy. I think underneath there's a guy with 15 movement, was able to move from here. I think if I did all the counting right, was able to move in there and take that supply unit. So the German full activation, the guy was able to go back around, take the supply, rolled a 1 for the supply, and so it was eliminated. Huge win for the Germans in that regard, because now the British cannot make a full activation. So they can't use their 2 remaining air or their artillery in this next activation. And they have 3 stacks that are DG'd. The Germans came over here and attacked Fort Capuzzo. So, I'm sorry. So now the Germans have that half of the Halfaya Pass, and then the Germans came in to attack Fort Capuzzo. Rommel went in, died in the fight, rolled an 11. The British general survived, or commander, Campbell, I think. He's over here. But the Germans rolled an 11. Therefore causing a D, and so that was 2 full units in there, caused a D2R2. That D2, so they lost 2 steps, and then they had to retreat through a 1 zone of control, lost another step, and then they ended up over here. So they lost 3 steps in that attack, even though they lost Rommel. Pretty awesome. That was just fun back and forth. I thought the game was over, but the British do have a limited command. They can attack. Maybe try to surround, I don't know. Maybe they just don't have a lot to do here. They got these guys here. They've got to defeat the guy to get to Sollum. They got to defeat these guys here. And so there's a draw, and I guess for the Germans, I feel like that was good, but I guess the Germans want to go for victory. So really they want to go attack the other side of Halfaya Pass. That'll be tough because you're firing in a 3rd. So the British, I think, who owns that? That's British. So British could try to attack in that, but they got to get rid of these guys, and these guys are full strength. They can't, no, man, that's going to be tough. So I've got to attack. But these guys are halved and then at a 3rd. Yikes. Yeah, I don't. And they can't move around that escarpment, so they got to go around, come over here. I can try it. I can see what happens. But it's going to be pretty tough. So, can you overrun with limited activation? I think you can. Let's take a look over here at the rules. Yep, overruns allowed. And I think I got an overrun unit, exploit capable unit there. And they're not, those guys, if they're in there, they're not in zone of control. These guys smartly moved here. I smartly moved the Germans here to keep these guys, which I think there's an exploit capable unit in there. Yep. Just 1 though. They can't, oh, I can try to exploit this guy. I can't air barrage. Nah. So I can't DG anybody. Oh my goodness. Anyway, this is really a fun, this is just a 1-turn thing too. So I think it's going to be even more mind-blowing try to manage. The next one is 2 turns. And then Crusader, holy crap, dude. It's going to be a lot to manage. A lot that can happen here. I'm really starting to like this. All right, we'll talk to you. We'll see what happens after these 2 limited activations. All right, wardrobe here, and again, Battleaxe, baby. What a swirling battle. So remember, you saw what happened there. So the British had limited, well, yeah, a limited activation. So they did all they could to attack. So I did all I could to attack this Fort Capuzzo. Could not make it happen. They actually, they did okay. What happened there? I think they did get a defense shot, I think, but not much help in there. Commanders all lived. The British also took this side of Halfaya Pass, so all they had to do was take that and they could win the game. Well, they didn't do it, and then the Germans thought, well, they might as well try. So they tried attacking this, and the Germans did, in fact, take it at a D2R3. Yeah, am I seeing that right? Yeah, the British took them out of here and out of Sollum. So it was looking close like they could do it, and they just couldn't make it happen. So then the Germans, in their last limited activation, took this side to Halfaya Pass over and then tried to take this over. They weren't going to be able to do that, not even during exploitation, because everyone's in zones of control. And that happened in Sollum. So that, pretty cool. I mean, what a back and forth. And this was attacking at a third, like attacking across the escarpment, you got to go by a third. And all these guys were the British were all DG'd. Well, 3 of the stacks were DG'd, and they were able to contribute to the attacks. And some of these guys were DG'd and a third. So it was fun. I mean, it's times like this I go like, why do I even try to think I can play OCS or something? And because this was so much fun. And it's not, you know, the fun is trying to figure out the puzzle to make it happen. And I'm not sitting there fighting the rules. Although there were a couple things that were kind of weird on this one. Like the scenario starts out with 3 supply on map B. Well, first of all, map B is not on here. But I assume it's, you know, they're just off map. Well, does that mean they can come on, or they're always stuck over there? I don't know. Also, another question I had was this unit over here had 3 movement. It starts over here. And you get a third of movement on the road. I'm like, I don't understand what value they were to the match. So maybe I need to figure out if they weren't supposed to be there. So anyway, that's Battleaxe. It's a draw. No one won, but it was definitely a swirling battle back and forth. Pretty cool, man. I got to say, you know what I wish? I wish they would incorporate some of these things and do some of the other OCS titles. Like France, 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 France. Maybe it just works because it's desert. I don't know. And this particular battle, maybe. East front, east front, east front. So I'm looking at you beyond the Rhine, and that's not east front. I get it. Third winter, Smolensk. Oh, I think they've already done Smolensk. Blitzkrieg Legend, Guderian's Blitzkrieg. I mean, imagine how many games. They wouldn't have to make Case Blue, you know, or Third Winter in one game. Make them like 3 or 4 games. I don't know. Maybe it's too much work. Not worth it. And then you could combine them if you wanted to. I don't know, man. I just had so much fun with this. Good times. That's that. Thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate the comments, the subscriptions. You know, smash that bell. It's there for a reason. Get you watching when I post something new. Okay, bye.